Pure Teens USA is concerned about global food insecurity. We reached out to all of the other Pure Teens groups in our global network to understand more about this problem. How widespread is food insecurity? What are the issues that are causing the global food shortage? And what can we do about it?
I'm here today to talk to you about food insecurity in Arua. In Arua, agriculture is the major economic activity that provides food on the table. It also produces harvests which are exchanged for monetary value. Away from that, in my community, it is a luxury to have 3 meals. Some families are able to afford 3, others 2, others 1, and others are uncertain where the next meal is going to come from.
In the 2020 State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World Report, the Philippines recorded the most number of food insecure people in the Southeast Asia, with 59 million of Filipinos have no consistent access to food.
There are many factors behind food insecurity in Zambia, and we cannot ignore some, like the impact of the pandemic, which decreased food production in terms of farming, processing, and importing fertilizers from other countries as the result of borders being closed. Rainfall performances and floods, like north parts of Zambia, where many people left their flooded households and farms, and western province, which experienced the floods in the plain, where rice is cultivated abundantly. Last but not the least, inflation of kwacha, which makes it difficult for people to sustain their families in terms of eating shima, which is the major staple food of Zambia, consumed by at least 80% of the population, has also become a challenge in terms of the price of bag of mini meal, which is keeping on increasing and increasing.
There are several factors that contribute to problems related to food insecurity in Burundi, such as poverty, which is often associated with food insecurity as people living in poverty do not have the resources to purchase adequate food. Following all these factors, there are consequences that can be serious and affect many aspects of the life of a person and a society. This can include malnutrition, poor health.
Here in Kenya, we are experiencing climate change, which has really affected the rainfall pattern, leading to poor harvests. Therefore, we depend on agricultural goods. We are forced to import. We are also currently under inflation, and a lot of people are unemployed, so they can't afford 3 meals in a day. Here in Kenya, we also have pastoralist communities like the Maasai who depend on their livestock, and drought and famine in different counties has really affected those pastoralist communities, leading to death of their livestock.
We have 2 seasonal weather changes, that is the rainy season and the dry season. And in the rainy season, sometimes it is coupled with floods which destroy crops. In the dry season, we have scorching sunshine which dry up the plants, limiting the variety and the type of crops that needs to be grown. With all this in play, let's talk about families that are not able to afford a meal in a day. Some of the families send their kids to the streets as beggars, and others who are not able to do that, they survive at the mercy and kindness of good Samaritans.
Due to diseases, environmental degradation, the unpopularity of agriculture among the youth, and the continuous growing of Philippines' population, food insecurity is a growing problem.
Food insecurity in South Sudan is real, more especially the current crisis in the country where farmers are unable to access their far distant lands. So I find that it becomes very difficult for them to bring food on the table.
Civil conflicts in South Sudan has since 2013 resulted into increased flux of refugees into West Nile, with a population of 86% being women and children, 3% the elderly, and 5 people are estimated to live per household. And as a result, you see refugees in the several regions of West Nile travel kilometers to go and secure a meal for their families that will sustain them for the month before the next meal is distributed. To solve the food crisis,
En el 2023, el Perú se ha convertido en el país con mayor inseguridad alimentaria de Sudamérica. La principal causa de esta inseguridad es una tasa de pobreza, impidiendo cubrir su canasta básica de alimentos. Además, tiene profundas consecuencias para la población. Entre las principales consecuencias tenemos a la malnutrición. Es la falta de acceso a una variedad de alimentos. La malnutrición también puede llegar a afectar el crecimiento y el desarrollo tanto académico, físico en los niños, así como también tiene una consecuencia o perjudica en la salud general de adultos y ancianos.
Food security is a problem in the United States of America as well. Even in one of the richest nations in the world, there is still hunger. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, 13.5 million U.S. households were food insecure at some time during 2021. Wow, the needs are definitely great, but peer teens around the world are finding ways to respond.
As Puritans Burundi, we are able to visit different people in need, especially who can't afford to eat. For example, through social entrepreneurship grant of $100, Puritans cook food and bring to different hospitals where there are people who can't manage to get food because they are from countryside. It's hard for these people to get food.
That's why we are able to provide some few families with some foodstuffs and non-food items, which we believe it have helped them. But though we are able to do that, still much is needed to eradicate food insecurity, particularly in my country, South Sudan.
We asked Ozian and Zoe Sanga to share his thoughts on what is causing this global crisis. He is a recent graduate of Cornell University with a degree in food science and is a member of Peer Teens Burundi. Let's hear what he has to say.
The global hunger and malnutrition crisis is caused by a number of interconnected factors. They include inflation and economic disruptions, which usually drive up the cost of food products. A high frequency of extreme weather conditions in many parts of the world is another factor that continues to drive the low agricultural productivity. Also, we should remember that the world is still recovering from a pandemic. The crisis has devastated vulnerable communities and left far too many families unable to afford and access nutritious food. This reality should grieve all of us.
So what can we do? What's our action plan?
We can organize events, raise funds, and create awareness of food security needs.
We can work on living more simply and wasting less each day so that we have more to share with others.
We can support the efforts of peer teens in other countries, and we can pray. Pray for those nations who may be facing extreme food insecurity, and pray for the hungry and thirsty in our global family.
We can take better care of our environment and do our part to reduce our carbon footprint.
We can use our free time to volunteer with organizations that are really making a difference.
We can use our skills and talents, even our college major, to study things that can make a difference.
We can speak out against injustice on behalf of others.
SALT, the Peer Servants partner in South Sudan, is looking to God for funds to provide farmers with $35, which will cover the cost of farming tools, seeds, pesticides, and fungicides, all to establish a farm. Even as a single teenager, I can raise $35 as a sustainable way to help families or even a whole community provide food for itself.
With $60, Potter's House Association, a peer servants partner in Guatemala, can provide water filtration systems for school children and their families so that they can have access to clean water.
With only $80, Potter's House Association in Guatemala can help a family with a rooster and 4 hens to provide nutrition for families through eggs and meat.
In the Philippines, Peer Servants partner CCT plans to provide duck starter packs. $100 can help 5 families in rural tribal areas to raise ducks for eggs, as a great source of protein.
By continually serving our communities in these various ways and faithfully supporting individuals in need, we are living out Christ's words found in Matthew 25. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink.